Welcome, YouTubers, to another episode in my Grammar Hero series. In this video, I'm going to work out 25 practice test questions involving conversions that should closely mirror what you should expect to see in the arithmetic reasoning subtest of both the Armed Services Vocational Aptitude Battery, that is the ASVAB, as well as the pre-screening Internet Delivered Computer Adaptive Test, that is the PICAT. More specifically, you should expect to see 2 to 5 very similar questions on the actual ASVAB and PICAT. And as a quick reminder, you're not permitted to use a calculator or a reference sheet on the actual test. Of course, in order to get the most from this video, you'll want to pause the video after I read a practice test question, attempt to solve that question on your own, and then resume playing the video to check your solution. Likewise, I quickly want to mention this. Here's all the conversions you need to know for test day. You have to know that there are 12 inches in 1 foot, 3 feet in 1 yard, 16 ounces in 1 pound, and 5,280 feet in 1 mile. Finally, I quickly want to mention this as well. Please stop paying for tutoring or access to online boot camps. Truth be told, most of you are smart enough to pass this very simple test on your own on your first try, as long as you spend a few days to a month studying for it. In other words, there's no reason for you to sign up for an online boot camp that lasts more than a month. And with all that finally being said, let's go ahead and get started with this video. This ASVAB PICAT arithmetic reasoning practice test question says a carpenter has a wooden board that is 20 feet long and 6 inches wide. If he cuts the board into pieces that are 8 inches long, how many pieces will he have? So to answer this one, we would do 20 feet divided by 8 inches. That is the length of the board divided by each of the pieces that he's going to cut from that board. Now, of course, we have a conversion problem here. We have to convert these 20 feet to be in terms of inches. To do that, we're going to take 20, we're going to multiply it by 12 since there are 12 inches in every foot. 0 times 2 is 0, 2 times 2 is 4. As 0 placeholder, this is 0, this is 2. So this is 240. In other words, this is 240 inches divided by 8 inches. Cross out these units. 24 divided by 8 is 3. Just tack on that 0. In other words, he can make 30 8-inch boards from this 20-foot long board. This ASVAB PICAT arithmetic reasoning practice test question says a homeowner plans to hang wallpaper on one wall of a bedroom that is 10 feet long. If a strip of the wallpaper is 20 inches wide and strips are hung vertically, how many strips of wallpaper will the homeowner need to fully cover the wall? So for this one, we're going to do 10 feet, that is the length of the wall, divided by 20 inches, that is the width of each strip of wallpaper. That said, we have a little bit of a conflict here. We're doing feet divided by inches, so we're going to have to make a conversion here. Specifically, I'm going to convert 10 feet to be in terms of inches by multiplying it by 12. Again, there's 12 inches in every foot. 10 times 12 is 120. So this becomes 120 inches divided by 20 inches. Cross out our units because they're both the same now. Cross out the corresponding zeros. 12 divided by 2 is 6. So this homeowner is going to need 6 strips of wallpaper to cover this wall. This ASVAB PICAT arithmetic reasoning practice test question says how many floorboards, which are each 2¼ inches wide, are needed to cover a floor that is 15 feet wide. So we're going to do 15 feet, the width of the floor, divided by 2¼ inches. That is the width of each of the floorboards. I'm going to convert 15 feet to be in terms of inches by multiplying it by 12. That's going to be 180. So this is 180 divided by 2¼ Next, I'm going to convert this 2¼ to be an improper fraction. 4 times 2 is 8 plus 1 is 9. So this is 180 divided by 9/4. We're dividing fractions, so follow the algorithm keep, change, flip. Keep 180 the same, change from division to multiplication, and flip this bottom fraction to be 4/9. Now place 180 over 1. 9 goes into 9 one time. 9 goes into 180 20 times. This is the same thing as 20 times 4, which is 80. So this one is C, 80 floorboards. ASVAB PICAT arithmetic reasoning practice test question says Mike is painting vertical stripes on one of the walls of his daughter's bedroom. If he paints stripes that are each 6 inches wide and the wall is 12 feet long, how many stripes can he paint on the wall? So to figure this one out, we're going to do 12 feet, that is the length of the wall, divided by 6 inches, that is the width of each of the stripes. That said, we have to convert these feet to inches so that these are both the same units. Again, there are 12 inches in every foot. So to convert 12 feet to inches, we do 12 times 12, which you should know is 144. So this is 144 inches divided by 6 inches. We can cross out these units now that they're the same. And if you can't do 144 divided by 6 mentally, you could do it using long division. 6 goes into 14 two times without going over. That's going to be 12. This is 2. Drop down this 4. 6 times 4 is exactly 24, so there is no remainder. In other words, you can paint C 24 stripe. ASVAB, PiCAT arithmetic reasoning practice test questions as tiling costs $2.55 per square foot. What is the cost to tile a kitchen whose dimensions are 4 yards by 5 yards? So right away, we got to convert these yards to be in terms of square feet. There are 3 feet in every yard, so multiply these by 3. You get 12 by 15. 12 by 15 is 180 square feet. So now we're just going to do 255 times 180. Move our decimal 2 places to the right to make this 255 with no decimal times 180, albeit with 2 decimals to move back in at the end when we're done. This whole top row is going to be zeros. Add a zero placeholder. This is 40, carry a 4. That's going to be 44, carry a 4. That's going to be 20. Add 2 zero placeholders now. This is going to be 5, 5, 2. Let's add this up. 0, 0, 9, 5, 4. Bring our 2 decimals back in. So it's going to cost D $459 to tile this kitchen. This ASVAB PiCAT arithmetic reasoning practice test question, we're being asked to calculate how much it's going to cost to put hardwood floors in a room that's 15 feet by 12 feet if the flooring costs $44.25 per square yard. So we're going to have to make a conversion between feet and yards at some point. There are 3 feet in every yard. To find the area of this room, it's length times width. Given that both of these are divisible by 3, let's go ahead and convert them to yards. This is going to be 5 yards by 4 yards, which is 20 yards squared. Now to find our cost, we're going to do 44.25 times 20. Move our 2 decimals to the right to make this 4425 times 20, albeit with 2 decimals to move back in at the end. This top one's going to be all zeros. Add a 0. This is 10, 1, 5, 8, 8. Add this all up. 0, 0, 5, 8, 8. Bring our 2 decimals back in. Clearly, this one is A. This ASVAB PiCAT arithmetic reasoning practice test question, we're being asked to calculate how much it's going to cost to put hardwood floors in a room that's 13 feet by 18 feet if flooring costs $60 per square yard. Right away, you should recognize that we're given something in terms of feet and something in terms of square yards. So at some point, we're going to have to make a conversion here. Let's find the area of this room. It's 13 by 18, which is 234 square feet. Now let's go ahead and convert this 234 square feet to be in terms of yards. Again, there are 9 square feet per square yard, so divide this by 9. This becomes 2, 18. This is 5. Drop down your 4. This is 6 with no remainder. So in other words, 234 square feet is the same thing as 26 square yards. Now we could just simply do 60 times 26 to get our answer. 0 through 36, 0, 0, 12. Let's add these very quickly. 0, 6, 5, 1. So our answer is B. This arithmetic reasoning practice test question for the ASVAB PiCAT says tiling costs $2 per square foot. What is the cost to tile a kitchen whose dimensions are 4 by 5 yards? First thing I want to point out is that we're given in dimensions in terms of yards and a cost in terms of square feet. So we have to make a conversion. First, let's find the area of this kitchen in terms of feet. Again, there are 3 feet in every yard. So this is 4 by 3, 12 feet by 5 times 3, which is 15 feet. This mental math is very easy to do. 10 times 15 would be 150. 2 times 15 would be 30. So this is 180. Now we do 180 times 2. Again, it costs $2 per square feet. Our square foot, we have 180 square feet. This is 0, 16, carry a 1. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3. So it's going to cost D $360 to tile this kitchen. That is 4 yards by 5 yards if tile costs $2 per square foot. ASVAB PiCAT arithmetic reasoning practice test question says if a bag of grass seed covers 10 square yards and costs $4.25 per bag, how much will it cost to completely cover a field that is 360 square feet? So we got to convert these square feet to be in terms of square yards. There are 3 feet in every yard. If we square 3 feet, 3 times 3 becomes 9 square feet per 1 square yard. Let's convert 360 square feet to be in terms of square yards by dividing it by 9. This is going to be 40 since 36 divided by 9 is 4. So we got to cover 40 square yards. Each bag covers 10 square yards, so we're going to need 4 bags. We're going to do 425, the cost per bag times 4. Move this decimal 2 times to the right. to make this 425 times 4, albeit with two decimals to move back in. 5 times 4 is 20, carry a 2. That's 8, 10, carry a 1, 16, 17. Move our two decimals back in. It's going to be B $17 to cover this field. ASVAB PICAT arithmetic reasoning practice test question says a pile of textbooks is 4 feet high. If each textbook is 2/3 of an inch thick, how many textbooks are in the pile? So the first thing we have to do is convert 4 feet to be in terms of inches. To do that, we're going to take 12. There's 12 inches in every foot, and we're going to multiply it by 4. That's 48. So again, we want to figure out how many books are in this pile. Each book is 2/3 of an inch thick, so we'll do 48 divided by 2/3. Write 48 as a fraction by placing it over 1. Now we're dividing two fractions, follow the algorithm, keep, change, flip. Keep 48 over 1 the same, change from the division to multiplication, and then flip this bottom fraction to be 3 over 2. Let's cross reduce to make this a little bit easier. 2 goes into 2 one time, 2 goes into 48. Well, that's going to be 24 times. So this is 24 over 1, which is 24, times 3 over 1, which is 3. 24 times 3 is 72. This ASVAB PICAT arithmetic reasoning practice test question says if a canteen cup holds exactly 1 cup of water, how many can be filled from 22 gallons of water? So you have to realize in this case, we're going from a bigger unit that is gallons to a smaller unit that is cups. And in order to do so, we're going to be multiplying. That said, you have to know this. There are 4 cups in a quart and 4 quarts in a gallon. So in order to go from gallons to quarts to cups, we're going to take 22. We're going to multiply by 4 to go to quarts. Then we're going to multiply by 4 again to convert to cups. 22 times 4 is 88, so this leaves us with 88 times 4. If you can't do that mentally, always do it off to the side, especially on test day. 8 times 4 is 32, carry a 3. 8 times 4 is 32 plus 3 is 35. So the answer to this one is A. 22 gallons of water can fill 352 canteen cups. This ASVAB PICAT arithmetic reasoning practice test question says if a woman's resting heartbeat is 72 beats per minute and she is at rest for 6.5 hours, how many times will a heartbeat during that period of time? So we're given something in terms of hours as well as minutes. The first thing I'm going to do is convert 6.5 hours to be in terms of minutes. There are 60 minutes in an hour, so in 6 hours, there are going to be 60 times 6 minutes. That's going to be 360 minutes. There are 30 minutes in half an hour, so just go ahead and add that 30 to it. So 6.5 hours is the same thing as 390 minutes. Her heart is beating 72 beats per minute. So we're going to do 390 minutes times 72 beats per minute. This will give us our total. This is going to be 0, 8, carry a 1, 6, 7, add a 0 placeholder, 0, 63, carry a 6, 21, 27, add this all up, 0, 8, 10, carry a 1, 8, 2. So the answer is B. Her heart beats 28,080 times during a 6.5 hour. ASVAB PICAT arithmetic reasoning practice test question says in Europe, odometer is in kilometers. If you drove 500 miles and you know 1 kilometer is approximately 5/8 of a mile, how many kilometers did you cover? So for this one, I'm going to use a simple proportion to solve this one. We're told that 1 kilometer is approximately 5/8 of a mile. We want to know how many kilometers. That's an unknown value. Call that X. We cover if we do a 500-mile trip. Uh, Cross multiply, this becomes 5/8 times x, or 5/8x equals 1 times 500, which is 500. Let's clear this 8 over 5 by multiplying both sides by 8 over 5. This crosses out, leaving you with x on this side. Let's cross reduce this to make this math very easy. Place this over 1. 5 goes into 5 one time. 5 goes into 500 100 times. This is 100 over 1, which is just 100, times 8 over 1, which is just 8. So in this case, it's 100 times 8, or just 800. So the correct answer to this one is B. ASVAB PICAT arithmetic reasoning practice test question says at a weigh station, a 2-ton truck is taxed at a rate of 12 cents per pound. How much is its total tax bill? So for this one, you have to know that 1 ton is equal to 2,000 pounds, of course. If we have a 2-ton truck, that means it weighs 2 times 2,000 pounds, or 4,000 pounds. So now we're going to do 4,000 times 12 cents, because it's taxed at 12 cents per pound. Move this decimal over 1 2 times. We're going to do 4,000 times 12, albeit with two decimals to move back into the left at the end. 0, 0, 0, 8. Add 0 placeholder. 1 times 0 is 0, 1 times 0 is 0, 1 times 0 is 0. This is 4. Add these. This is 0.0084. Bring our two decimals back in, 1, 2. So we can see that this is going to be $480, which is answer choice A, of course. This ASVAB PiCat arithmetic reasoning practice test question says a carpenter cut three shelves, each of which were 4 feet and 6 inches long from a 14-foot board. How long of a piece was left over? So we cut our three shelves like so. They're 4 feet 6 inches according to this problem. And we want to know how long this little piece that's left over is. Let's do some quick math here. 4, 4, and 4 is going to be 12. So when we add our feet, we get 12. 6 inches and 6 inches. Well, 6 inches and 6 inches is 12 inches. There are 12 inches in a foot. So this is 12 plus 1 feet. And then we're just left with this 6 inches. So our shelves took up 13 feet and 6 inches. What's 14 feet minus 13 feet 6 inches? That's going to be A, 6 inches. This arithmetic reasoning practice test question says this: Jimmy is painting stripes on one of the walls of his son's bedroom. If he paints stripes that are 20 inches wide and the wall is 15 feet long, how many stripes can he paint on the wall? So for this one, we're going to do 15 feet. That is the length of the wall divided by 20 inches. That is the width of each of the stripes. To proceed, we have to convert these to be in the same units. So I'm going to convert 15 feet to be in terms of inches. There are 12 inches in every foot. So by doing 15 times 12, you'll figure out that conversion. This mental math is very easy to do. 10 times 12 is 120. 5 times 12 is 60. 120 plus 60 is 180. So this becomes 180 inches over 20 inches. Again, those units cross out. These corresponding zeros cross out. 18 divided by 2 is 9. So in other words, he can paint C 9 stripes across the wall. ASVAB PiCat arithmetic reasoning practice test question says a math textbook is 3/4 of an inch thick. How many of these books will fit on a shelf that is 3 feet wide? So the first thing we have to do is convert 3 feet to be in terms of inches. We just do 12 times 3 since there are 12 inches in every foot. In other words, the shelf is 36 inches wide. Now, if each textbook is 3/4 of an inch, we could do 36 divided by 3/4 to get our answer. Of course, to make this math a little bit easier, we could write 36 as a fraction by placing it over 1. Now we follow the algorithm keep, change, flip since we're dividing two fractions. We keep this top fraction the same, 36 over 1. We change from division to multiplication, and then we flip this bottom fraction to be 4 over 3. Let's go ahead and cross reduce. 3 goes into 3 one time, 3 goes into 36 12 times. This is 12 times 4, which is 48. In other words, 48 textbooks will fit. ASVAB PiCat Math Knowledge practice test question says if C equals -20, what is F? Use C equals 5 ninths times F minus 32. Let's solve for F, and in order to do that, let's plug in -20 for C. This becomes -20 equals 5 over 9 times F minus 32. Let's clear this 5 over 9 by multiplying both sides by its reciprocal, notably by 9 over 5. This crosses out here and here, leaving you with F minus 32 on this side. Let's place this over 1 so we could cross reduce. 5 goes into 5 one time, 5 goes into -20. That's going to be -4 times. So this is 9 over 1, which is just 9, times -4 over 1, which is just -4. 9 times -4 is -36. So this is F minus 32 equals -36. Add 32 to both sides to get F by itself. Finally, this has F equals -36 plus 32, which is -4. So the answer to this one is this math knowledge practice test question for the ASVAB and PiCat says when the temperature is 20 degrees Celsius, what is it on the Fahrenheit scale? Use the following formula. F equals 9 over 5 times Celsius plus 32. So for this one, we're told that Celsius or C is 20. All we have to do in this case is plug it into this formula and solve accordingly. So this becomes 9 over 5 times 20 plus 32. Again, according to your order of operations, you do multiplication before addition. And to make this math a little bit easier, I'm going to place 20 over 1, which is going to enable me to cross reduce by saying 5 goes into 5 one time, 5 goes into 24 times. 9 over 1 is just 9 times 4 over 1, that's just 4 plus 32. 9 times 4 is 36, so this is 36 plus 32. Should be able to do this mentally. 30 and 30 is 60. 6 and 2 is 8. So the correct answer to this one is D, 68 degrees. Solve this ASVAB math knowledge practice test question in 60 seconds. It says if C is 30, what is F? Use C equals 5 ninths times F minus 32 in parentheses. Let's start by plugging in 30 for C. This becomes 30 equals 5 ninths times F minus 32. The next thing we want to do is clear this 5 ninths in front of this set of parentheses. So we're going to multiply both sides of the equation by its reciprocal, notably by 9 over 5. This crosses out here and here, leaving you with F minus 32 on this side. Let's do this math mentally real quick. 5 goes into 5 one time, 5 goes into 30 6 times. So this is just 9 times 6. 9 times 6, you should know, is 54. Let's get F by itself by adding 32 to both sides of this. This crosses out here, leaving you with just F on this side. 54, 32, that's 6, 8. So F in this case is 86, which is D. ASVAB PyCat Math Knowledge Practice Test question says if it's 20 degrees Celsius, what is the temperature in terms of Fahrenheit? Use C equals 5 ninths times F minus 32, where C is Celsius and F is Fahrenheit. Plug in 20 for C and then solve for F. Let's go ahead and do that. This becomes 20 equals uh, 5 over 9 times F minus 32. We got to clear this fraction. And to do that, we're going to multiply both sides of this equation by its reciprocal, notably by 9 over 5. This crosses out here and here, leaving you with F minus 32 on this side. Place 20 over 1, now cross reduce. 5 goes into 5 one time, 5 goes into 24 times. 9 over 1 is just 9, 4 over 1 is just 4. 9 times 4 is 36. Let's add 32 to both sides to get F by itself. This crosses out, leaving you with F over here. 6 plus 2 is 8, 3 plus 3 is 6. So that is going to be B. For this arithmetic reasoning practice test question, the first thing we have to do is convert our ounces and pounds to be just in terms of ounces. There are 16 pounds in every ounce. 2 times 16 is 32, plus 3 is 35. So our package weighs 35 ounces. According to the problem, we're charged $1.50 for the first 6 ounces. So subtract 6 ounces out. And of course, we're told that it cost 5 cents for everything else. So we'll do 29 times 0.05, shift our decimal 2 times to the right. This is just 29 times 5 with 2 decimals to move. 9 times 5 is 45, carry a 4, 10, 14, bring our 2 decimals back in. So it's going to cost $1.50 for the first 6 ounces and $1.45 for the remaining 29 ounces. That's 592. So it's going to cost be $2.95 to mail this package. This ASVAB PyCat arithmetic reasoning practice test question says if it costs 32 cents per ounce to mail a package, how much will it cost to mail a book that weighs 2 pounds and 5 ounces? So we got to convert these 2 pounds to be in terms of ounces as well. There's 16 ounces in a pound. So to convert 2 pounds to ounces, we're going to do 16 times 2, which is 32. Again, we have these 5 ounces here to add to that. So in total, our book weighs 37 ounces. Costs 32 cents per ounce to mail, so we'll multiply that by 0.32. Move that decimal 2 times to the right to make this 37 times 32, albeit with 2 decimals to move in to the left. 7 times 2 is 14, carry a 1. That's 6, 7, add a 0 placeholder. That's 21, carry a 2. That's going to be 9, 10, 11. Let's add this up. 4, 8, 11, bring in our 2 decimals. This one is C, 1184 to mail the book. ASVAB PyCat arithmetic reasoning practice test question. We're trying to figure out how much it's going to cost to carpet a room that's 12 feet by 15 feet if carpeting's 1150 per square yard. This is a conversion problem given a cost in terms of square yards and dimensions in terms of feet. So we're going to have to convert these feet to yards by dividing them by 3. Since there are 3 feet in every yard, 12 divided by 3 is 4, so 12 feet is 4 yards. 15 divided by 3 is 5 yards. 4 times 5 is 20 square yards. Now that we know the area of our room, we can multiply that by the cost of this decimal 2 times to the right to make this 1150 times 20, albeit with 2 decimals to move back into the left. 0 times these 4 is going to give you 4 zeros. Before we start multiplication with this 2, we have to add a 0 placeholder. 2 times 0 is 0. 5 times 2 is 10, so bring down a 0, carry a 1. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3, and 2 times 1 is 2. Add this all up. This is 00032. Bring in our 2 decimals, 1, 2. So this one is A. This ASVAB PyCat arithmetic reasoning practice test question says a flooring costs $30 per square yard. how much will it cost to put flooring in a room that is 9 feet wide by 12 feet long? So this is a conversion problem in that we're given measurements in terms of square yards and dimensions in terms of feet. So we got to make a conversion. I'm going to convert feet to yards by dividing both of these by 3. Since there are 3 feet in every yard, 9 divided by 3 is 3. So 9 feet is the same thing as 3 yards. 12 divided by 3 is 4. So the dimensions of our room in terms of yards is 3 yards by 4 yards are 12 square yards. Again, it costs $30 per square yard to put flooring in. Multiply this by 12. This is 0.6003. Add this up. It's going to cost us $360 to put flooring in this room.